Hi, I'm Debbie Pask, and I wanted to share a little bit of information about how you can get better tractions on your intentions, dreams, goals, desires, whatever you want to call them. And this was inspired by a lovely client of mine who understands a lot about manifestation and energy, but had the very simple question of, how can I really stay on course and how can I get traction energetically and physically as well on the things that I want. So I thought I'd put together my top 10 ideas on what I do personally and how I think people best follow their course and their goals and their milestones so that things roll out easier and more fluidly for you. So the first one I'd have is intention. And that means that you need to clearly articulate what it is that you want. So it's not necessarily how you want it, because in hindsight, things never quite work out the way you think they're going to work out. But I'm talking more about how do I articulate exactly what it is that I want. And intention is everything. If you can intend and articulate and be hungry and strong for that, that's the first thing I'd say. And I wouldn't say do too many things at once. So don't have 10 really articulate intentions or goals. That's just too many. I'd say between 1 to 3 really clear, powerful things that you're really heading toward, you're willing, you're open, you want. The second thing I'd say is definitely it can't clash with your top values. So if you haven't worked out what they are, you're going to have to go through this exercise. But what I mean by values is the things that are really important to you and that are so fundamental to the way that you live and breathe, that this goal or thing that you want actually doesn't work with those values. So if I was, for example, one of my top values is nature and animals, I wouldn't want to have a goal of going and doing something that's going to destroy or hurt animals or nature, for example. It's an obvious one, but you need to really think about it. If you're a hugely social person and you're all about connection and friends and family, then don't go and spend 5 years in a Tibetan cave. The third one is ensure that it's aligned somewhat to what I call your life purpose. Again, if you don't know what that is, you need to kind of figure it out. But we're all here on some intrinsic level, whether it's through our career or our hobbies, to follow our blueprint and to become who we're meant to be and to do something in this beautiful creative existence that we have with this body and this thinking brain and this spirit. So if it's really off course to your blueprint or your purpose, I would say that it can be easily thwarted. I've heard that before from a few of the spiritual teachers I've worked with, that if something's off your purpose, it's almost like it won't let you have it. So have a think about whether it's aligned to who you are and what you're about. Otherwise, firstly, it's not authentic, and secondly, it'll get harder to get. It is important to visualize your thing that you want in terms of, I call it lucid dreaming. It's like, get a vision board together, but more than that, get a thought and a picture and an idea in your head of what that is. Because the next step relies on the fact that you have a visualization. So I want you to really think up what it's like, not how you're going to get there, but what you really want. So if it's, a house on a beautiful big block of land with an ocean view, really visualize what that is. Or if it's a trip to somewhere in South America, really visualize where you're going to be trekking or what you're going to be wearing, or really get in touch with what it visually looks like to have it. That gives your reticular activating system and your subconscious brain some images that feeds into that to then start to look for it and to seek it out. Your reticular activating system is this little tool that lives in your subconscious brain that looks out for anomalies or things that you tell it to look out for. So visualization is great. The next step is that you really do need to feel it. So if anyone has talked to me before about the power of the heart and the emotion, the heart is about 5,000 times more electromagnetic than the brain. So if you're going to give something to your heart to manifest, get the feelings sorted, get the excitement going, or what would it feel like if I had that trip to South America and I was walking those mountains, and what would it feel like to be out in nature and to be hiking and fit and healthy? What would it feel like if I had that? So put that into some sort of emotion. If you can feel it, that's the way that you want to bring it closer. So I know that some of the Indigenous people that have been interviewed around manifesting sort of say, I don't think and pray that I can see rain. I feel it on my face. So you need to feel it. You need to feel the joy of having something physically and emotionally. So bright, shiny objects are distractions that come up and take us off path. So just as I'm connecting to my goal of trekking through South America and I have Machu Picchu clearly in my head and I'm seeing myself and feeling myself, Oh, someone says come to Fiji for a holiday, or let's go on this new course or something that's going to cost me XX money, or it's about being really clear and not allowing bright shiny objects or opportunities, work or personal or leisurely ones. Don't let them distract you and sort of get you off course into what it is that you really want for yourself. So what you say no to is way more powerful than what you say yes to. So if it's really important to you, say no to those things that take you away from it, and yes to those things that take you closer to it. What would be the healthy habits that would actually be supporting this goal? It could even just be the meditation or visualization to feel it you do every morning, or it could just be eating well to be able to be fit enough to do that trek. So if it's a home that you want to buy, maybe it's your regular savings, or maybe it's doing your budget regularly and reviewing where you're at. It's just, what are the healthy habits that actually physically and tangibly set me toward that intention? So I would consider what would be those key milestones. So one of the gates, for example, to go to my South America trip would be to book a flight, or if I was really intent on someone going with me, it would be to find a friend to rope in to go with me. Or it could be the fitness levels that you need to reach to be able to hike, or the altitude test that you need to do. So I think some of the milestones are really exciting, because what you can do is you can get excited when you reach them, and you can celebrate them, and then you can start to feel it more. Like you tune into this beautiful emotion that you're feeling as you're getting through those milestones. Another one would be to, when you're stuck, or you feel like you're not moving forward, or it's further away, you need to, what I call, unpack what's sticking or blocking you. So that's a bigger question, but whether that's a meditation or talking to someone, or a session with a coach, or someone, like I do a lot of sessions with people to unpack their blocks. Get someone to give you some expert advice, or if you think a friend has the capacity, but you need to sit down and unpack what's blocking you. What is the reason I'm not doing my healthy habits, or why am I getting distracted all the time, or what am I doing to sabotage what I'm getting there, or am I looking at what everyone else is doing and getting stuck? So you need to sort of unpack those blocks. So it's powerful to recognize that you have them, and it's more powerful to seek help. It's not weak to seek help, it's more powerful. I've got something in my way, I can't go around it, I need to go through it. Could be a fear. Who's going to help me go through it? Because I want that goal at the end. Which leads me to the last point, is you need to be hungry. How hungry are you? How hungry really are you to have this? And there's a lot of you might have heard of a lot of Indigenous tribes, or especially Native American Indians. That's what I've studied. Their version of a vision quest. They go out into the forest or into nature, and they do a meditation for days on end, not eating anything, just in one place. And they call it a vision quest because they're crying out for a vision. They're hungry. They want to see their future or next step or their goal. And they're hungry. They're crying for it. So how hungry are you? And the question I'd often ask with that is, what would you have to believe for this to be possible for you? So, how hungry are you, and what would you need to believe? And that might actually bring up some stuff around what you need to unpack if you don't think you're going to get there. So, practical. There's a lot of these things border on being practical and quite intuitive. There's a spiritual side to these things as well as a practical nature. But they're the things that I would say that if you start to look at those 10 things, and you're probably doing half of them already or some of them already, they're the things that are going to keep you with really clear, strong traction. And it starts with this beautiful intentional focus as, I want that, this is what I'm going for, and I'm going to work through anything that's going to hold me back from getting it, because it's really fundamentally important to me. So how important is it to you? How hungry are you? And what would you have to believe for this to happen? Hope that makes sense, and give me a shout on email or through my channel if you've got any questions. Thank you.